Hi everybody, it's Jen here to do the weekly energy forecast for April 23rd through 29th, 2023. Last week's energy had very much, it was about the idea of how do you maintain your sort of harmony and your peace and calm when you're dealing with other people and you're sort of letting yourself connect to others and allowing their life and whatever's happening with them to enter into your space. That oftentimes we can successfully find a space of peace and calm for ourselves when we're by ourselves and when we're just relating to ourselves. But when it comes to engaging with other people and bringing those connections into the picture, it can be a lot harder to find that peace and calm when you're suddenly, considering other people's needs and how those needs are impacting you and those kinds of things. And a lot was coming up with, at least for me, it was coming up with the idea of what we do to make others happy or to please others that maybe isn't actually helpful to us, and that kind of looking at that sort of behavior, what kind of fears are behind us doing things that aren't good for us just to try to please others. So very interesting energy of kind of navigating those connections. There was also a new moon eclipse, which is big energy around opening doors, opening new opportunities. And that's interesting because that came through. It's come through for me in several different ways lately. But as I was shuffling the cards today, that was one of the things that came through. So the good news about this week is that it's a week that's focused on kind of almost building ourselves up, building our confidence, and building up our feelings of empowerment to engage with things that we want to do. So that's coming from the Liberate card, which was inviting my individuation, which is all about feeling comfortable standing out from the crowd, not in a show-offy, I'm just going to do something to be different way, but as in this is who I am, this is what I want to be doing, this is how I want to be showing up in the world, and if it looks different than what I'm supposed to be doing, that's okay. I'm comfortable with it. So that's the energy that's happening in this individuation, card. And then along with that, the solar plexus chakra, all about it's our center of will and confidence and value and how we move through the world and that kind of thing. So, and notice I love the color schemes that come up, all the yellow in there that speaks to that energy. So that's what we're really working towards. But when I was shuffling the cards, what I was seeing was doorway, and it was a closed door. And the message that was coming through was that we choose which doors we allow to open for us. We don't always think that we have that much power, but we do. And if we're holding on to something that is fear-based or something that is not conducive to being carried through into a new beginning, we're going to keep those doors closed. And oftentimes we blame circumstances. Oh, why is nothing ever going right for me? Those kinds of things. And it really is about what we're afraid to have manifest. Oftentimes what it is that we're afraid to let go of something that is what will allow us to move through the doorway. And that is certainly what was coming through with the energies. I had a past life card deck that I pulled out, and two cards wanted to come out with that. The first one, unrequited love, and the second one, imprisonment or slavery. I thought, wow, that's pretty powerful. Let's deal with unrequited love first, because this does not necessarily have to do with romantic love. What's coming through is the idea that if we're holding on to something that feels unfinished or we feel unfulfilled about, anything like that can stop us from moving on to the next chapter, moving through a new doorway into something different. And that can have to do, yes, with romantic partnership, but it can also have to do with any kind of relationships with anybody, parents, children, friends. It can have to do with, work or career or things you're passionate about that, you wanted something to work out in one way and it didn't, and you can't let go of that. You hold on to why didn't it work out, which doesn't open doors for it to work out in a different way. So that's what to think about around this card, is what are you holding on to potentially that feels unfinished, and because you're not letting that go, it's actually stopping you right in your tracks and leading to this card, which is imprisonment or slavery. And I mean, I literally this morning, just the energy, the way this stuff works blows my mind every time. I I was working with energy this morning for myself around the people-pleasing aspect of things, and I pulled a card out of a completely different deck, and it was talking about the idea of doors being locked and that you can get assistance from the universe to unlock the door, but you still have to be willing to walk out of your cell in order to move on to something else. And then I pulled this card for the energy that's starting to come through for this next week, and it's kind of incredible because this is really what I was envisioning, that we put ourselves in these cells by holding on to things that are unrequited or unfinished, and we don't let ourselves out. Even, this door is open. It's an open door. It's not locked. So it's something that you can step away from if you're willing to let go of the things that are holding you back. So that's what's coming through with the energy, that if you're looking to especially utilize a new beginning, utilize this eclipse, and you're feeling that energy that you want to do that, but something's holding you back, it's about exploring what those things are so you can release them for good, and allow that door to open so that you can step through it. And that's where the shifting energy card comes in to say, hey, you've been working at this for a while. It's not time to quit now. It's time to persevere. It's time to, reach down and find that last piece of strength to help you release what you need to release and move forward. And relight maybe. Usually what I talk about with this card is that it's kind of about relighting why you started this in the first place. Why is it that you've been working so hard to try to move on from whatever it is? And, remember the reasons why, and use that to help you spark the final release of whatever it is, so that you can, move forward into this lovely yellow energy and this standing out from the crowd in a way that is authentic and perfect for you, and fun and joyful. That's the other piece. It's about doing things that are fun and joyful and that you're having a good time with, and letting that lead your life. So, interesting energy could be challenging if you're really holding on to something that you still feel like you can't let go of, or you think you have, but it's not cleared your sort of arena. Consider that as well. This is a good time to think about energy work services from someone. If you're feeling like you've worked on this and you feel like you've already released it, but for some reason there's something hanging around, this is where someone who is skillful at working with energy can help find those sort of pockets that are remaining and help shift those out. So something good to consider for this week. Okay, that's the energy forecast for April 23rd through 29th, 2023. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Good journey.